Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm quite busy recently and I have picked up a while ago the HobbyBoss 1700 scale IJN I400 class submarine. Before I get into the video, this is a really interesting model. The real thing that this is based on was even wackier, so let's get into it. So the I400 class submarines were basically a insane project by the Japanese where they wanted to do like the Germans when they created the Graf Zeppelin aircraft carrier, which never actually, attacked anything. They built the I400 class submarine. This is a submarine and an aircraft carrier, and it's been tried and done many times, but not in this example. So the I400 class submarine, if I can show you, it had to have a bulkhead hull, a double hull, because the weight of this thing couldn't be distributed. Few nice things. I painted this, by the way. I'm not really good at painting model ships, but I tried and I feel it's good. So you've got the bow float planes here, and the I400 could carry 8 torpedo tubes, 4 in each side. That is a lot of firepower, and it also had 1 torpedo tube in the stern, but its main complement was this tiny little plane was responsible for the I400's creation. This is a very tiny model of an M6A1 Siren, or Seran, which in Japanese means mist, I believe, which means, these would be held inside the watertight hangar of the I400 submarine. They would then have their engines cooled before takeoff. They would then be pulled out of the watertight hangar. By the way, the I400 could carry 3 of these bad boys, and to fit them in, the plane was made specifically for this use. The float planes were stored in these little areas here. So when they pulled the I400 out of the watertight hangar, so for example, if I just show you, so when they pull the I400 out of the hangar, they could, if I zoom in, they could attach the float planes. The engines would already be heated when the float plane was out. The wings would fold like the TBF Avenger. The tail tip would fold in, and the end tail pieces would fold down so it could fit, and the float planes were, float planes. So it was powered by 1 engine, and it would be on a catapult system, and I think it took 60 minutes to launch just 1 of these, and it's a really cool design. Had it have actually been used, the plan was for 18 of these I400 class submarines, but it was dwindled down to 10 or 5 because of production wanted on bigger projects like Yamato and stuff like that. This is 1946, by the way, or 1946 when the US intercepted this, I believe. And it was massive. It was the most biggest submarine of World War II. That's not even a joke. I even thought the U-boats were bigger than that. No, this is massive. This basically is half the size of a nuclear Typhoon sub, I believe. So the planes would be, launched, and then they would fire the catapult, and then the submarine would submerge itself, only for it to wait for aircraft to return. Okay, so let's actually look at the final details of the plane. So the Siren was a twin-seated bomber. It could carry a torpedo. It could carry bombs. And the float planes could be jettisoned for better stability, but it would mean that the aircraft having to ditch, which takes away your whole idea of a submarine aircraft carrier. So it had a long catapult, which is basically why the I400 was so well known, and it even had a foldable hydraulic crane. So when the planes would land in the water beside it, it could easily be picked up and then stored in the hangar. The hangar is a watertight hangar, and the door would open, and there was a rubber seal, and you could store 3 aircraft inside of this bulkhead watertight hangar. There you go, look, so you can store all 3 aircraft. So imagine that the float planes and that weren't even on the Submarine. You can see that they fit in really well with everything folded up. Now, the I400 had a whopping armament, more than a U-boat. It had triple mounted 20mm autocannons for air defense. These could be used for virtually anything as well to attack shipping. You've got a periscope, and the I400 had 2 periscopes, an attack and a regular one. The decals on the model were nice. Again, forgive my painting, I really struggled with 1700, but I think I did well. And as well as that, you've got a single 25mm cannon on the front of the conning tower. You come to the stern of the U-boat, and you'll notice a big gun. This is I believe it's a 105mm deck gun, which is similar to the German deck gun. And you know what they'd use deck guns for? To destroy targets in shipping. There's just so much to go on about the I400. It was powered by 2 100 horsepower engines, I believe, when it was submerged. And you've got I believe these are the stern planes to protect it. But really nice model overall. And the idea of the I400 is just insane when you think about it. A submarine aircraft carrier that could, 1, be a hidden threat, submerge, and then surface and launch the aircraft. So now I'm going to discuss to you how the process of launching aircraft worked. Okay, so when the I400 was submerged, right? Imagine it's submerged. If I can take it off the stand, I think I can. Yes, there we go. Take it off the stand. So imagine the I400 is submerged, okay? And, submerged, they've seen a target, let's say New York or Panama Canal, or they've sighted some enemy ships. Well, the I400 will be cruising. And then, just like regular U-boats, they'd run on diesel and electric engines in this area and then torpedoes. They would heat up the aircraft's engines when they were inside the hangar. Because you can't cold start an engine because it will break. They would then surface, and when they were surfaced, I'm going to put it back on the stand for you. And when they were on the surface, the watertight hangar could open, and they would release the plane. And then what they would do is they would add the float planes, unfold the wings and tail, and then start the engine up, obviously putting the munitions in first, and they would start launching like this, like that. And the planes would then attack, and then the planes would return from their mission. This is what they were supposed to do. Be picked up by the hydraulic crane, folded up again, and stored back in the hangar. And then, before anything could happen and they'd be seen, it would submerge again. Now, if the submarine wanted to attack, it could use its 8 torpedo tubes in the bow to attack. If he wanted to, they could use the stern torpedo tube. And the I400 was a massive ship, submarine, massive. And they actually found one of these, and the US captured it, and there's a very old footage of it, and it's absolutely baffling how mad the size and scale is. Yeah. I believe it was a crew of 1,100 men, I think, but the fact that you've got 3 25mm autocannons in a single and a 990mm deck gun, it's just baffling. And the fact that these could launch aircraft is even more baffling. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you would like me to do a video on more 1700 scale ships, I shall do so. With all that said, take care and dive.